Hi, welcome to English Lessons with Ma'am Tinz. Hello students, welcome to day 2 of week 5. I'm your English teacher, Ma'am Tinz, and I hope you're all doing good today as you learn new things with me. So still our agenda, what is analytical listening, stages of listening, steps in problem solving. Same preparation, you need the following: pen and paper, self-learning module, motivation, and heart to learn. Our lesson for the week is analytical listening in problem solving. We are already in our day 2. And for our day 2, our objective is to understand the listening stages and steps in problem solving. So what is analytical listening? So this is the same as, or this is similar as critical or active listening. In analytical listening, it actually pertains to one's ability to carefully and properly analyze the sound listened to. One can distinguish and categorize the information listened to. And also, in analytical listening, you can restate the information with evaluative feedback or response based on what's heard or what's listened to. So the feature of analytical listening is, of course, it allows the listeners and speakers to avoid miscommunication, misinterpretation, and misinformation. What's the difference between analytical listening and, of course, critical listening? Somehow they are similar, but then in critical listening, it incorporates focusing on the technical aspects of the sound. So if you are a sound engineer or if you are judging a singing contest, you're actually focusing more on the dynamic range or the tone of the voice of the singer, the frequency response, and how the instruments all blend together. These are all the factors when you are using your critical listening. But if you are applying or using your analytical listening, you are focusing more around the interpretation and meaning of the actual sound. Take note, we are focusing on the interpretation and meaning of the actual sound. So let's talk about the listening process. We have 5 stages. Number 1, we have receiving stage, followed by the understanding stage, then the evaluating stage. Fourth is responding stage. And then the fifth one is remembering stage. So let's start with the first stage, which is receiving stage. Receiving involves hearing and attending. So this is the process of accurately identifying and interpreting particular sounds that we hear. So that's the receiving stage. The second one is understanding stage. In this stage, the listener determines the context and meanings of the words that are heard. So this is a huge part of our everyday lives. Like right now, the students listen to teachers to learn new ideas. So without understanding what we hear or about what we hear, none of these everyday listening would relay any practical information to us. So we'll now move to the third stage, which is evaluating stage. So here, the listener critically assesses the information they receive from speaker. Evaluating allows the listener to form an opinion of what they heard. So the listener can determine whether the information heard is biased or unbiased, true or false, important or not. Example, under evaluating stage is that, for example, a voter who listens to and understands the points made by an election candidate. So we'll now move to the responding stage, which is the fourth stage of the listening process. So this is when the listener provides verbal or non-verbal reactions to what he or she hears. Responding verbally might involve asking questions, requesting additional information, or repeating what a speaker has said. And then for the nonverbal signals, that will include gestures like nodding, making eye contact, tapping a pen, smiling, rolling of eyes, and other body language. So, for example, if the listener is smiling and nodding or asking questions, the speaker may feel that the listener is engaged and the message is being communicated effectively. So, that is the responding stage. The fifth listening process is remembering stage. So, for this, in this stage, it occurs as the listener categorizes and retains the information she's gathering from the speaker. So, in this stage, it allows the listener to record information for later recall. So, in the remembering stage, our memory is actually functioning on this stage because we tend to remember, we tend to recall things or information that we have heard from the speaker. Now, since we already know about the stages of listening, we'll now move to the problem solving activities. In solving a problem in a listening text, particularly, the first task to identify is, of course, the problem. This one. So, from the listening text, you have to find the answers for the following questions. So, what, how, when, where, why, and of course, who. You have to answer those questions in order for you to come up with a solution. Okay? So, in solving a particular issue or concern, it's important to identify first the significant information required. All this. You have to make sure that you can answer these questions in order for you to come up with a good solution. Now, according to American Society for Quality in 2020, there are 4 steps in solving a problem. Number 1 is define the problem. You have to define the problem. Know what the problem is. Okay? And then the second one is try to generate alternative solutions. This one. Alternative solutions from A to Z. Try to think of if plan A does not work, then go to plan B. And then, after that, you can now evaluate and select alternative. Which one to use? Which one is better to use? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? And then finally, you implement and follow up on the solution. Okay? The one that you think is best for the problem. Okay? So that's it for day 2. So let's see each other again on day 3. This is Ma'am Tinz Kenya.